Hello everyone, this is Professor DePaulo. Welcome you to Site 265 Research in Psychology Online. And today I'm going to be doing a basic introduction to the course and how to navigate the Blackboard environment, how to find your homework assignments, and basically how to do what you have to do on a week-to-week basis to be successful in the course. So you're going to start off with this announcements page, and you're seeing basically the page that I'm designing, and when these announcements are available they'll pop up on your screen, right? So for now you're not going to see anything because this video is being made before the start of class. Once class starts, you're going to see the announcements be placed. Okay, so welcome to Psych 265 Fully Online. My name's Dan DePaulo. I'll be your guide for this online journey through the wonderful world of research. So I'm hoping that you'll find this course interesting, fascinating, possibly tolerable. If you do the work week to week, you should be fine. And I try to set this course up very simply so it's easy to navigate and that you can be successful in the course. And of course, I'm here as a resource for you if and when you need it. So the general policy is that I get back to you within 24 hours through email. Generally, it's much less than that. And on the weekend, a little bit longer, although I tend to respond as soon as I can, and I tend to habitually check my email on a regular basis. So even on the weekends, I'm generally available. I'm also available through Zoom, but not on the weekends, obviously. During the week, during my office hours, preferably. But I'm definitely responding through email pretty quickly. So everything is laid out in the syllabus, and it's set forth through something called the weekly guide. So the weekly guide tab is on the left of the screen here, and this is how you're going to navigate the course. So here's weekly guide. And if you go click on weekly guide here, you see all of these weeks of the semester laid out for you. You will only have access to the given week and the previous weeks. So week 1, you'll have access to week 1. Week 2 comes, you'll have access to week 2 and access to week 1. I want you to do the work each week that it's due. So there's no jumping ahead and like trying to do the entire semester at the beginning of the semester. Or you think you can do week 1 through 16, let me do it in the first 4 weeks and therefore I have the rest of the semester off. It doesn't work that way. Also, there's no going back and just, making up all the work at the end. So this course is designed for you to work week to week. Can't do everything at the start, can't do everything at the end. Now, doing everything at the end is what a lot of students want to do. This is not very effective. So now, if there's a problem in your personal life, with work, with your family, with your health, with whatever, contact me. I can understand there being a problem from time to time. If you need an extension on a week's worth of work, I can give you an extension, but I don't want to be giving extensions all the time. So if you're a good student and you're doing the work on a regular basis, you're keeping up with things, you're working hard, and then 1 week comes and something bad happens and you can't get things done, I understand that. What I don't want is the abuse of the system, which is basically, I haven't done weeks 1 through 8. Can I do week 1 through 8 now? Or I haven't done weeks 1 through 12 and it's the end of the semester and the student just wants to do everything at once. That is not acceptable. So if you're the type of student that can only do the work at the end of the semester, this is not the course for you. You have to do the work week by week by week. So let's look at how this works. So it's week 1, you click on week 1. Click on week 1 and you'll see that there's the date for week 1. This is the date of the week, basically when you have between these 2 dates to get the work done. This is the topic, this is the chapter. We're using the book Discovering the Sciences Within 3rd edition. We're also using a homework module called Achieve. Now, Achieve used to be known as Launchpad. It's been Launchpad forever, for many, many years. Now they have changed it to Achieve, so I may refer occasionally to Launchpad, but when I say Launchpad, I mean Achieve. Because it's the same thing, they just renamed it, and they changed a couple things on the menu. They set it up a little bit differently, but it's really the same thing. And I've been using Launchpad for years for this course, and it's very effective. I think it's great. You'll interact with the course material, you'll learn the course material, and it gives me something that I can evaluate you since I'm not seeing you in the classroom. So I need to make sure you're engaged with the course. And Achieve, which was known as Launchpad, so I'm going to call it Achieve / Launchpad, right? Because it used to be Launchpad. Achieve is going to get you to where you're going to go. And then you see the due dates, so Chapter 1 and the orientation unit, and the due dates are due at this date at this time. So the weeks work basically Monday through Sunday. So Monday is the first day of the week, Sunday is the last. Sunday at 11:59 is when all the assignments are due. So every week you're going to see this to-do list. This is basically what you have to do. Make sure you've accomplished everything on this to-do list. And this is basically Achieve here. For week 1, it's Achieve, the welcome unit, and Chapter 1. So here's Introduction to the course using Achieve. Please take a look at that. You're actually watching it now. So you've actually been here already, but I've stored the video here, the link for the video here in case you need to look at it again. Video lecture Chapter 1. This is the lecture for Chapter 1. Make sure you watch that. So I've recorded all the video lectures for all the chapters we're covering. And so that's one way to learn. Another way to learn is do the Achieve homeworks. And the combination of my lectures, you reading the text, and you doing the homeworks through Achieve is going to get you the maximum amount of knowledge that you need to, get a background in research. This is not the end-all, be-all research course. You will take a upper-level research course at the four-year college, wherever you're transferring to, or graduate school if you already have a degree and you're just taking a couple of prep courses and you're moving on to grad school. You will have another version of research either at the four-year school or in grad school. It all builds off each other. So the way I design this is it's kind of a stepping stone course. I expect you to do some writing in APA style. And I do a rough draft and then the final copy of some kind of a revised paper of some kind of research or data collection I'm doing for the semester. So that will happen during the semester. We will collect data. I will design the study. We will collect data. So I will collect data online from you. You will then write up a research paper based on that data. I will do all the analysis. So as you go through the semester, I will provide step-by-step instructions on how to do everything. I will do the data analysis. All you have to do is basically write the introduction, write the method, write the discussion, and then write the title, the abstract, and the references. I will give you the results. And that will get you sort of used to how an APA paper is structured, a research paper, a manuscript, and provide you some background information for upper level research courses that you'll take where you'll have to do more work. So this is kind of a beginning course, but I still expect you to be able to do the work. This is not I don't have to put any effort into the course. This is a challenging course. You have to put the effort in. If you have questions, of course, I will answer them. But I expect you to work. This is not an easy course for a lot of students. This is a lot of work for students. And I kind of think of it as the transition course between BMCC and something better, whether that be the four-year college or graduate school. Something better, something more challenging, but something with better stakes, higher stakes, better outcomes, right? I mean, people don't want to be at BMCC forever. BMCC is great to get your feet wet, get you used to things, give you an introduction to academic work, psychology, but this is not where you want to end up. You want to end up doing something else, moving on to somewhere else, whether it be the four-year college or graduate school, eventually graduate school, whatever, medical school, neuroscience, counseling, whatever you want to do, therapy, could be anything. You need research in basically every field. It's a good foundation course. So make sure you watch the lecture videos. So you click the lecture videos, it takes you to
Grammarly Go.
You watch the lecture video. Here are the slides. I gave you the PDF version of the slides from the lecture video, so you can keep those as reference. But I do want you to watch the lecture videos because it takes me forever to record them, and you know, it's nice that people actually try to get something out of it. I didn't record all these videos a couple of years ago because I was bored. I'm trying to help you a little bit. So sometimes my lectures are different than the text, and at least you get a lecture component here. It kind of builds off each other. You read, you watch the lecture, you read through the notes, you do the homework, and hopefully when you combine all of that, you gain knowledge of the topic we're studying. So once you're done watching the lecture video, you can do the Achieve Welcome Unit. This is the homework. First one is Welcome Unit. The second one is Chapter 1 in Achieve. So for Achieve, you're going to have to register for an account. And there's a couple ways to do that. So if I go to course information, you will have access to the syllabus, and you will have access to the Achieve, how to set up the Achieve. So I'm going to open the syllabus for now, and I'll go through that a little bit in a few minutes here. Let me just show you the homework system through Achieve. So here's how you register for Achieve through the course information tab. You want to go to achieve.macmillan.com. So all you do is copy this, paste it into your browser, and then you want to click I need to enroll in a course. I'm the instructor, so I have access. You need to enroll in the course because you're the student. And then it's going to say course ID or access code. And for that, I have provided you this here. The course ID or access code is right here. So you just copy and paste this thing. And then you're going to choose either a payment method. And I'll tell you a little bit about that in a second. So let's just copy and paste this here. We found your course and you can enroll. So it's obviously not letting me enroll yet because it's before the 25th. But by the time you watch this video, you'll be able to enroll because it'll be the 25th. Okay, I'm filming this, you know, the day before. So let me show you what Achieve looks like. So here's the Achieve course. Okay, and then for the first lesson, you're going to have this Welcome to Achieve chapter, and you're going to do the orientation assignment, and it's going to walk you through the different questions. Your screen's going to look different than mine, right? This is how your screen's going to look. You have a bunch of questions, 11 questions. It's going to ask you to read the instructions and answer. And then when you do it, you're going to get a score, right? So this is just saying click hint. Select the first answer choice. This is basically showing you how to navigate Achieve. Right. And there's the solution in case you have a question about it. This is just sort of walk you through it, and as you can see, it says correct and it's green. You want to make sure everything is green. And that's going to give you a score. And this is basically like how to use the program. That's all it's doing. Is it's showing you a little bit about how to use the program. The program is pretty basic to use. I've used Launchpad, like I said before, for many years. This is kind of just a spiffed up version. You know, it's like when you take an old medication and eventually the medication goes off patent and it becomes really cheap. What does a pharmaceutical company do? They make a spiffed up version of the medication. The old medication, they reformulate it, they change it a little tiny bit, and then it starts a whole patent clock again. So now you have another 17 years to 20 years where it's on patent and you can't make a generic, right? And then the pharmaceutical company charges a ton of money for the same drug that's just spiffed up a bit. And that's kind of what's happening with Achieve here. So it's like Launchpad, and they kind of just spiffed it up a bit because Launchpad was getting kind of stale, and they just made it like into Achieve. And it's a new product, so they go, we have this new product here, we're innovative, we've made things better. Well, the Launchpad was really good, so there wasn't really much to innovate. There were a couple little things that could have changed, and they did. And then they remarketed it as a new product. Nothing too interesting. I think Launchpad was good, so Achieve is the same as Launchpad, so it's going to be good. Okay. I don't know if you guys used Launchpad before, probably not. I've used it in many of my courses. I like it a lot, so far I like Achieve. Okay, so that's Achieve. So that's the practice, the welcome unit, right? And now you can go to, let me go back here, and my page will look different than your page, obviously. Go back to course content, chapter 1, and you see all these items for chapter 1. Now everything with a book is a reading, so this is your ebook. So you click on this, you get the reading. So if you buy the Achieve, you get the ebook with it for free. You buy the Achieve program, you get the ebook. If you like the ebook, that's fine. You could read the ebook, whether it's on your phone, your tablet, or your computer, and then you do Achieve, the homework. That's what I do. I read things online all the time. I read off of my phone, I read off of my tablet, off of my PC, my laptop, my PC, whatever. I read everything electronically. Actually, the publishers don't even send me books anymore. They just send me ebook because it saves them money. And everybody reads ebook. Now, if you're the type of person that does not like reading off of a screen, which is kind of hard to be these days because everything's off a screen. But let's say you're more comfortable holding something in your hand and reading it. You can buy the loose leaf version of the book along with the Achieve code, the code to access the homework, the Achieve product, in the bookstore. So if you plan to buy the loose leaf version of the book from the bookstore, it'll come with a code for Achieve. You then type that code into the online registration screen for Achieve, and you have access. So you're basically buying access to Achieve plus the loose leaf. You get it packaged together in the bookstore, in the BMCC bookstore. That's going to be a little bit more than just buying the ebook with Achieve. So it's really just what you're comfortable doing. I understand book costs. Students, you know, books are expensive. I understand that. But the online free books for things, especially research, statistics, all this stuff, they're not very good. They're just, in some cases, they're awful. So I'm getting you a quality product here that will help you learn, but unfortunately you do have to pay for things. It's not free. I know that's disappointing, but there's nothing like the Achieve / Launchpad product that would ever be free. So it's a little bit of a cost for hopefully the gain in terms of learning the material. But I do understand that some students expect everything to be free. It's just impossible. In some cases, you can't. Right? You have to get a product that's good, whether it costs some money or not. I'm very cognizant of the cost, but it is sometimes you just have to pay for some things. So these book symbols mean it's just the ebook. You could also click on the ebook right here. ebook tab here, click on chapter 1, and you got the whole chapter 1 ebook. So if you want to read the ebook, you can access it from this menu here on the left and click on the chapter and click on the section, or you can go to the assignments here, my course chapter 1 assignments, and I have the book readings within the assignments. Now, you're not graded on this. There's no points for reading the book. You're expected to just read the book. Everything that you're scored on will have a point value. 5 points here, video activity. 5 points here, video activity. 5 points here, learning curve. Another 5 points, learning curve. Research and action, 5 points. Research and action quiz, 5 points. Research and action essay quiz, 5 points. You may have all of the access to all of these things. You may have access to some of them. So I may take some of these action essay quizzes out as I deem fit, so you don't have to write as much. But flashcards are just for your practice. They're not graded. So everything graded has a point value. The practice quiz is worth double the point value of everything else because it's more cumulative. It's about the whole entire chapter, so it's worth a little bit more. Once you've done all the items that have point values, you're finished for that week. You obviously don't have to do the readings through here, although if you click on them, they will it will register that you've done it, right? So see how it's already shaded. All right, so it'll mark whether you've done it or not. Okay, and this is my view. Obviously, your view as a student is not going to show as much here, right? Yeah, it's just showing the book because the course actually hasn't started yet. So you'll see like a check mark where it says complete. Every time you do an assignment, it'll say complete here on your screen. My screen's a little bit different than your screen, but I'm trying to show you that you'll have a little check mark here when you finish the assignment. You want to make sure you have all the check marks for the week, for that chapter. And every week you'll have a different chapter, and you'll have a different series of homework assignments, and hopefully that will help you, you know, process the information and be successful in the course. So that's Achieve. You have to register for it, and I gave you the instructions for registration. Once again, it's under this course information tab. It says Achieve registration. You want to follow these steps. You do get a 2-week free period, grace period with it, so you can get 2 free weeks, but then you have to pay for it. The cheaper one is if you just do the Achieve homework platform plus the ebook. That is cheaper than getting the loose leaf copy with the Achieve code through the bookstore. But if you want something tangible to hold and to read, then by all means, you know, pay a few bucks more and get the loose leaf. So I've provided that in the bookstore. You may also want to click on this link where it says Achieve Getting Started for Students. This will show you some basics, right? So it'll go through how to get access, how to do the assignments, how to set up the account, how to do the purchase. Okay, so it'll tell you stuff. You should look through that as well. And if you have technical issues, please contact tech support. The link is provided here. Unfortunately, I am not tech support for this product. They have their own tech support team. So if you have a problem where you can't access the assignment, it's probably due to either a browser problem. I mean, that's one thing you can do at the beginning is, you know, try a different browser. Sometimes you try a different browser, it'll work. Certain browsers work better than others. I use Google Chrome for all of this stuff, and it seems to work fine for me. But if you use Firefox or Safari or Microsoft Edge now, or Opera or whatever, there's a whole bunch of different browsers. You may have a problem with certain browsers. If you do, close the browser, open a different browser, and try to access the assignment. If you still have a lot of technical issues getting into the assignment, go to tech support. I wish I could help you, but everybody has a different computer or a laptop or whatever they're accessing the homework on, and therefore I can't sort of troubleshoot everything, especially Mac. I don't use Mac because it's like backwards. To me, it's like completely backwards. Like my brain doesn't process Mac very well. So some of you love your Mac, your MacBooks. You just love it. It's great. I do believe that Macs can be great. I mean, I see a lot of people do many things with Macs. But for me, like my brain doesn't process it. I have to use a PC for most of my stuff. You know, but then again, I grew up with like DOS. I grew up with Windows 3.1. Things that were like way in the past. DOS, people were like, DOS? What's that? Yes, DOS. You know, a very command line environment, right? That was predating Windows. So my brain thinks a lot differently based on my past experience than it would be if I was using a Mac. Okay, so that is your achieve. Now let's go back to the syllabus. Just a little bigger. So research and psych, fully online, asynchronous, which means you have work for the week and you have the whole week to do it. Prerequisites, Psych 100 and 200 level psych courses. Core requisites, none. I'm Professor DePaulo. I've been at BMCC for, man, this is going to be like year 11, maybe? Yeah, year 11. A long time so far. Doesn't seem that long, but yeah, let's go. Getting on. I'm getting on in years. There's my email, ddepaul@bmcc.kennedy.edu. I check my email often. Please contact me through email. You can call my office, but I'm not going to be there most of the time. I am on campus Mondays and Wednesdays afternoons into early evenings. So I am available on campus, you know, Wednesdays after my classes, 7 p.m. I'm available, but that's kind of a weird time that's the time that I'm available, but it may not be the time you're available. It's kind of a weird time for some people. I'm also on Zoom Friday afternoons, so that might be easier for you to make. But I am available on campus. I am also available on Zoom. Please email me if you wish to meet with me so that I can schedule time. Because, you know, once I say no schedule, drop in, then like 10 people come at once and I can't see 10 people at once. So it's good to know who's coming so I can set aside time. Also with the Zoom too. So I don't have you waiting in the, you know, the queue on Zoom where you're just waiting there ad infinitum because like 5 people are in front of you. It's good to know so you can schedule ahead of time. So I'm available both in person and on Zoom. And if you can't make those times, then send me an email and I can see what else I can do another day, especially on Zoom. Because I am only on campus Monday and Wednesday. Course description. The course design introduce students to psychological research. You'll learn about conducting research, literature reviews, ethics in research, collecting, analyzing, interpreting data, as well as summarizing, presenting findings. So the course involves a lot of critical thinking and writing. So you will be working on some kind of research project that I am designing. We will collect data as a class, and you will work on writing up that data collection for publication. Obviously, we're not publishing the data, but it's, you know, we're writing a manuscript as if we were to publish the research findings. These are our learning outcomes. You can read through that. These are the general education learning outcomes. You can read through all this. I'm not too interested in that. The text is Discovering the Sciences Within. The loosely version is available in the bookstore, as I mentioned previously. It's the 3rd edition, and it comes with Achieve. So it'll come with a code, an access code for Achieve. So if you buy from the bookstore, you get the access code, You put the access code into the Achieve website, and it gives you access. So you're basically paying for Achieve when you buy the book. Buy the loose leaf from the bookstore, because it's packaged together. This is the approximate price. I'm not quite sure what the bookstore will charge. We are switching bookstores from Barnes & Noble to, I don't even know what they're switching to now, something else. So I have no idea what the bookstore is going to charge. Whatever, right? I just have to place the order with them. So it's available there if you want, or you can buy the ebook with Achieve. So if you purchase Achieve, you get the ebook for free with it, obviously. Achieve and the ebook go together. And if you go to the course and you put the course name, so if you go here, like I showed you, you enroll in the course, you put the course ID, you can then buy the access online. Or you can start a 2-week grace period. Or you can enter your access code if you bought it from the bookstore. So either you pay for it there, you do a 2-week free trial, and then you pay for it, or you put the access code in you got from the bookstore. Those are your 3 options. If you're using a grace period, a 2-week free trial, make sure you use the same email address. If you don't use the same email address from the free trial to the purchasing part, I'm going to have 2 accounts for you in Achieve, and it's going to make my life a lot harder. So you don't want to make my life hard. The easier you make it for me, the better it is, the better experience overall for the entire class, right? So please use the same email address so you don't drive me crazy trying to link up your accounts. I've had students where there were like 3 or 4 different accounts, and I had to try to combine them at the end of the semester, and it was a big mess. So don't do that. You must purchase Achieve for the course. It is not optional. You have to have some kind of homework, some kind of interactive program to make sure that you're learning the material. Unfortunately, if I just tell you learn the material and watch the lecture and read the book, and I do that the entire course, when it comes time to take the exams, when it comes time to sort of show that you have knowledge of the course, it's going to be a problem. Some students will be fine doing it that way. I tell them learn the material, they learn it. But other students, they just can't learn the material that way. They need some kind of interaction. The Achieve is where it's giving you interaction, it's giving you feedback, it's giving you practice, it's giving you all of that. It's giving you structure into the course. Structure that I cannot give you for purely a fully online course. Right. It's better than what I can design for you. And obviously I can't write programs like this, and they wouldn't be free, right? That's why you pay for this. Course theme. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. That was Carl Sagan. And Google is not a synonym for research. That's a great one. Google is not a synonym for research. So just because you Google it and you find someone's Wikipedia page does not make it true. There's a lot of crap out there online that's not correct. It's not peer-reviewed. It's not published. Anyone can write anything online, state that it's fact, and they could be wrong. There's no government agency. In some ways, that's great that there is no government oversight into what's online. That's like basically reviewing every web page and taking down things that are not true. So some of you may see that as a problem. I think if we had a government that was regulating everything and watching over us at all times, it would be a problem, right? It would be like China. And I don't know if Americans are really confident in sort of setting up in a government that's similar to that, where they crack down on everything you do. For better or for worse. I mean, there's a lot of crap out there. And it would be great if there was a government organization that removed all the half-truths and lies online. But at the same time, it'd be a restriction of your independence and your freedom of speech. So there's always a give or take there. And, Big Brother is everywhere. We don't want them just like, online looking at everything you wrote in your blog or on your page, that Facebook page, Instagram page, whatever, TikTok, and then censoring things. Now, Google is not a great way to find research, but Google Scholar is. Google Scholar gives you peer-reviewed articles, and that is better than just straight out Google, which will give you everything. It'll give you John's awesome psychology page, which could be really awesome, or it could be completely untrue, fake, false. So we have to use peer-reviewed sources, and you're getting those peer-reviewed sources through Google Scholar. Now, technology, I'll use Blackboard, I'll use PowerPoint, I post videos. You'll be using PsycInfo, Google Scholar, you'll be using Achieve. And there'll be discussion board assignments. Evaluation, you must do the weekly guide every week. So if you do the weekly guide, which contains the Achieve homeworks, which contains the discussion boards, not every week is a discussion board, but there are 10 discussion boards. The weekly guide also tells you about the written assignments. So you're going to write 4 rough drafts, the introduction, the method, the discussion, and then the title, abstract, references. You're going to write those 4 rough draft assignments, and then at the end of the semester, you're going to revise them based on my feedback to you. And you're going to write a final revised paper, research paper. And then your final paper grade will be half of your rough draft grade and half of your revised grade. So those rough draft written assignments are very important. You want to spend time on them and do a good job. You don't want to just write anything down at the last second because you're not going to do well. It's going to affect your final grade on the paper. You must complete the assignments each week or you'll get a 0 on the missed assignments. This is not negotiable. If there's a problem, contact me. Don't just disappear and then come to me at the end of the semester and say, I had a bad semester, I had a lot of personal problems, I had problems at work, I had family problems, I had school problems, I want to make up everything. It's not going to work that way. You need to do the work. If something happens, let me know. If you needed an extension once in a while for something you couldn't get done, talk to me, send me an email, and I'm generally understanding unless you abuse the system. If you abuse the system, then it's a problem. And if you just don't do anything and expect to do everything at the end of the semester, once again, I've said this before, that's going to be a huge problem. Achieve, I already talked about. We saw that. You have to have Achieve in some form, whether you purchase it through the loose leaf in the bookstore and you get the code, or you buy it online. You have to have it. The research paper will be about something health clinically related. I haven't decided the topic. I was doing COVID related research for the last couple of years. Now that COVID is kind of moved into the rearview mirror, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Just people are interested in COVID. Now, COVID was very interesting and important to understand how people perceived COVID and how they dealt with the rules and things like that. The rules that were given to us. But now people just don't care about COVID anymore. So we're going to close the chapter on COVID. I have a lot of data on that I'm going to look at in more depth in my own time. And we're going to move on to something else. So the next topic, which I haven't decided completely on, will be designed online. So it'll be some kind of online survey or online experiment. And I'll do a data collection during the semester. And then I'll talk to you about the project in the video format, just like you're seeing the video now. I will make more videos. Every time we're going to do a section of the paper, there's going to be a video. There's going to be a video about how to write the intro, a video about the method, the discussion, and then of course the title, abstract, and references. And I'll talk more about the project in these videos. So you'll have plenty of background. I make videos for everything. That way you should be on the same page. I'm going to be telling you how to write each section. I'm going to be giving you the things I want, the things I'm looking for, and what you have to do really is follow the directions. Now that sounds really easy, and for some people it is, but believe it or not, a lot of students cannot follow directions. And as a result, they get penalized. You need to do what I ask you to do with the paper. I tell you I want X, Y, and Z. You provide X, Y, and Z. The paper is not for you to just do what you want. Write what you want. Make up the assignment. I was having this problem the last semester in the summer where some students were just writing what they wanted to write. No. I'm making a video for you. I'm telling you how to write something. I expect you to follow that. Follow the directions and you'll be successful. If you can't follow something or you have a question, contact me. Don't just write whatever because you can't figure something out. If you have a question, ask me. And don't wait till like 11:30 on Sunday night when the assignment is due in 29 minutes to ask me. Make sure you ask me and give me some time to respond. So don't rush everything. Don't save things to the last minute because it's going to have a negative effect on your grade. Class participation, do the assignments. That's how you participate. Do the homework, do the assignments, you're good. These are some other things. Advocacy and Resource Center. If you have problems with housing, finances, health insurance, contact them. Counseling Center. You have problems, some kind of mental problem or difficulty in your life, psychological difficulty, please use the Counseling Center. When I was a student, I was in the Counseling Center often. I set up a weekly appointment and it helped a great deal. And it's free. This is probably the only time in your life you'll get therapy for free. So if you need it, use it. There's nothing wrong with going for counseling. It's very helpful. They have both in person. They might also still have on Zoom in case you don't want to come in person. I strongly suggest you do in person if it's offered. It's much more helpful than I think Zoom. In my opinion, Zoom therapy is not as great as being in person. But if they offer Zoom, Zoom is good. If they offer in person, I think it's a little bit better. That's my personal view. Office of Compliance and Diversity. So this is if you're having any kind of discrimination or harassment. Please contact the Office of Compliance and Diversity. Accessibility, very important. If you need certain accommodations like extra time on an exam or extra time to do a writing assignment or whatnot, whatever your accommodation is, please make sure you go to Office Accessibility and get it approved. I can only give you accommodations if they tell me to give you accommodations. If they tell me to give you accommodations, I have no problem giving it to you. But I need something in writing from them. They have to send me an email. And if you had it in the past and you need it again, every semester you have to go there and get it reapproved. So please make sure you take care of that as soon as possible if you need it. In terms of plagiarism, I do not accept plagiarism. I use Turnitin to scan your papers for plagiarism. I use other online sites to check your papers for artificial intelligence. I do not want your paper written by some artificial intelligence program. I have access to all those programs. I know that they can write your paper for you. It's not going to work. I have ways to detect if you're using a computer to write your work. So don't plagiarize, which is copy and paste, and don't use AI to generate your program, your paper, because I have ways of detecting that also. We had to get smart with the AI stuff, because it's too easy to have I can go on my phone and have my phone generate an entire paper, and then if I do it again, it gives me a different paper. You do all these things in seconds. And so there have been measures taken, ways to spot and detect if you're using AI to write your papers. So there are companies developing AI, and there are companies developing methods to find out if you're using AI. So please don't get any ideas to go type in something into whatever your favorite AI platform is and generate a paper. It's not going to work for the manuscript to begin with, but it's not going to work for any kind of research paper. It's easily detectable. So don't do it. If you're caught either plagiarizing or using AI methods to write your paper, you will receive a grade of 0. And I don't really mess around with this. This is like, don't be lazy. This is what I think is, you're very lazy if you're copying and pasting things into an article. Paraphrase and cite. You're going to cite in APA style, author, comma, year. Do not copy and paste. There are no use. You do not use block quotes. You don't use direct quotes at all in a psychology research paper. So don't just copy and paste and put quotes around it. That's also plagiarism. It must be paraphrased, put in your own words, and it must be cited. And I'll talk more about that as the semester goes on. Your grade is developed or actually formulated by your midterm 20%, final 20%, the achieve homeworks 20%, the discussion board 10%, and your research paper grade 30%. Your research paper is half of your rough draft grade average and half of your revised paper. So I combine the rough draft average of your 4 rough drafts, the average grade there, that's 50%, and then your revised paper is 50%. I combine them, and that gives me your research paper grade. So that means you have to try in the rough drafts. You can't just write anything and then hope to revise it, because you are graded on the rough draft. Now, I'm not looking for a perfect paper, but I am looking for effort on the rough drafts. And for the final paper, I am looking for changes based upon what I told you. So I will put lots of comments on your rough draft. I will comment throughout the paper. Change this, fix this, do this. I then when I do the final papers, grade the final papers, I look to see if you've made those changes. If you're not making the changes I suggest, then your revised paper is not going to be as good as it can be. So please look for my comments on the rough drafts and make the changes that I suggest. That is how all research is done. I do the same thing as a professor. When I submit an article, I write the article. It goes to usually three people, 3 faculty. They're called peer reviewers. They all give me comments, usually 2 or 3 reviewers. They give me comments. I then have to use those comments to make changes and show them that I've actually used their comments, addressed each of the comments. So I put a piece of paper at the end that shows this is what you commented and this is what I did to change it, to address this comment, to show them that I'm making the changes they suggested. And that's how you get your paper published, is you make the changes that the reviewers suggest. And you're doing the same thing here on a very limited scale. I'm reading your paper, I am reviewing your rough drafts, I am commenting, and you are making changes to make it better. I want to make sure that you're making those changes. Some students do make the changes and they do great. Other students completely ignore everything I say and they submit pretty much the same thing and they don't do as well on the final paper. So once again, look at my comments, incorporate my comments, make the changes. There'll be no incomplete grades given in this course. You may appeal a W to a W if you have extenuating circumstances. So I do not like to give incompletes. Students always want incompletes, but what happens is they want them and then they have like 3 or 4 months to finish and they don't finish. So I got tired of giving incompletes. So make sure you do the work. If you feel like you can't do the class, you could either officially withdraw, which is fine. Doesn't hurt your GPA, doesn't hurt your transcript. If you stop attending, you'll get a WU grade, which counts the same as a W grade. It's better to have a W on your transcript than a WU, but it's basically the same for your GPA. W used to be an F, and they changed it to a W, becomes a W eventually. W means withdraw unofficial. So always withdraw if you can't do the work or you can't handle the course load. It looks better than a WU. Here's the schedule. It's also your responsibility to be registered for classes through the registrar's office and cleared through the bursar's office. Please make sure your bill is being paid. If you get financial aid, make sure your financial aid is paying the college. If the bill is not paid or the financial aid doesn't come to the college, they will drop your entire schedule and you will get nothing. You will have 0 credits. And no matter how well you're doing in your classes, they will all be dropped. And once they're all dropped, you can't get back in them in the middle of the semester. And I've seen this happen. Do not fall into this pattern. Do not become a victim of this. It will just wreck you. So make sure that you pay your bill, or if you have financial aid, make sure you're on top of the financial aid and that they pay the college. The college wants to get paid. That's how everything works. College gets paid, I get paid, you get a grade. You know, I wish it wasn't that way. I wish like it worked better than this, but the college needs to get paid. If it was free, that'd be great, but it's not. It's not free. So make sure you take care of that, especially if you have financial aid. Stay on top of your financial aid. Make sure you be on top of it. Make sure they're paying. Make sure there's no delay. And if there is a delay, go to the bursar's office and talk to them about it. Go to the financial aid office and talk to them. Don't just sit around and say, well, you know, eventually the financial aid will get there and it'll be all good. Because it may not. You have to be proactive, not reactive. And in general, if you have any questions for me, if I can help you in any way, let me know. I am more than willing to help you, both in the class or with regard to graduate school or a career in psychology or something else, research, or any questions you have in general. I have a lot of experience, some good, some bad. I have a lot of bad experiences within the university system. I've had a lot of bumps in the road. So I definitely understand what it's like to be a student who can be struggling at times, or maybe has been dealt a bad hand, and there are challenges along the way. I understand all of that. I am not your therapist though, so if you need therapy, please contact the counselor's office. I am not allowed to provide therapy for you. And there are some students every semester that reach out and they have some personal problems, and look, I wish I could help you, but I am not in my capacity. I'm not allowed to do therapy with the students. So counseling center is where you want to go for that. Okay, so that's it for the introduction. Hopefully this, so remember, weekly guide. Let's go back once again. Course information is where you can get the registration for Achieve and the syllabus. The weekly guide is where you're going to get each assignment for each week that you want to do. Week 1, week 2, so on and so forth. One more, the assignments tab. This is where I'm going to put all the written assignments, all the rough drafts, and all the final paper, the revised paper. So you'll see instructions here. You'll also see videos that I'll make for you. I haven't made them yet, but they'll be up here. There'll be videos on how to write each section of the paper: intro, method, discussion, title, abstract, references. And then there'll be a link on this page where you could upload your rough drafts as a PDF, where I can grade them, and where you can upload the final revised copy at the end of the semester. So course information gives you Achieve and the syllabus. Weekly guide gives you everything for the week that you have to do. That's the most important part of this whole environment here, weekly guide. And then assignments gives you the assignments. Discussion board will be linked through the weekly guide, so you don't even need to click on this. There are 10 discussion boards, but they'll all be linked through the weekly guide. So that's about it. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, bye for now, and I'll see you online soon for the next week or two for a discussion of the introduction. Bye for now.